left my ego at the door, and I had a motto through my whole career, is that I never learned anything when I was talking.
Radio and television host Larry King has died.
The article of impeachment against former President Trump is expected to be sent to the Senate on Monday. I'm Natalie Brandt with the debate over what will be a historic trial for a former president.
A fire breaks out in downtown Joplin.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Radio and television host Larry King has died. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Chris Warner. In a statement posted on Twitter, King's company Aura Media said King died at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. He was first reported to be hospitalized there in early January after contracting COVID-19 and moved out of the intensive care unit 2 days later. No cause of death was given. Chris Martinez looks back at his life.
Larry King and his iconic suspenders were a fixture on nightly television for a quarter of a century. He interviewed more than 30,000 people on his CNN show, Larry King Live.
Do you ever think about being first father?
Yeah, I do.
His guests included presidents, would-be presidents, international leaders, and celebrities.
What are you? First.
Well, do I have to label myself?
King was born Lawrence Harvey Zeiger in Brooklyn in 1933. His first job in radio was cleaning up a station in Miami Beach. When one of the announcers abruptly quit, King was put on the air. In the years that followed, he moved to television, then back to radio, where he gained notoriety as the host of an all-night nationwide call-in radio program, The Larry King Show.
He'll be here all tonight to explain it all. We'll take emails and phone calls as well.
In 1985, King jumped to CNN with his own nightly interview show. That's where he stayed for 25 years. His style was direct but not confrontational, making him popular among controversial guests.
I listened to answers, asked short questions, left my ego at the door, and I had a motto through my whole career, is that I never learned anything when I was talking.
In 2012, he co-founded internet streaming service Aura TV. Here, he picked up the interviewing mantle again with his show, Larry King Now.
Anything you can tell us about Star Wars 8?
That it happens.
King was married 8 times to 7 women and had 5 children. He wrote 2 books about living with heart disease after suffering a major heart attack in 1987. Over the course of his career, King won 2 Peabody Awards for excellence, one in radio and one in television, as well as 10 Cable Ace Awards. In 2011, he received an Emmy for a Lifetime of Achievement. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Larry King has said several times he wants to be cryonically preserved after his death. Turning to 4-state weather, it was chilly. It's still chilly, Nick, and is it going to stay that way? Because I don't like it.
Well, we're going to try our best to warm up tomorrow, Chris, but we're not going to shake off the cloud cover. In fact, all this cloud cover we saw throughout the day is ahead of our next storm system. Enough moisture with it to the north of us, prompting some snow north of St. Joseph, north of Marysville, Missouri, up into Iowa and Nebraska. The main storm system itself at the surface is spinning out of Colorado, while the upper low is still rotating across California. So we've got a few days' worth of these storm systems to put up with. At least for the time being, temperatures look okay. We're in the upper 30s to about the mid-40s across much of the region. It's going to be just a slow drop-off as that cloud cover holds tough, and temperatures primarily staying in the upper 30s tonight, with rain chances picking up throughout the day. Tomorrow, we'll break that down, and more rain and possible snow chances on the way coming up in a bit, Chris.
I don't like any of those words with the cool down or with snow, but I guess we'll have to live with it, won't we?
Probably, but we'll break it all down for you here in just a bit, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, fire breaks out near downtown Joplin. The fire started in a commercial building in the 400 block of East 8th Street. Officials with the Joplin Police Department say there were no injuries. The Joplin Fire Department, Police Department, and Mets all responded to the scene. Riggs Chiropractic in Riverton taking some time today to honor those on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. Frontline workers were invited to what Riggs called Lovin' on Frontline Workers. There was a breakfast bar, spinal screening, spine classes, and something all could enjoy, massages. Can't get that. Riggs says this is just their own way of giving back to those giving so much.
Just some of us seeing a need
for healthcare workers. They're so overworked right now, and we just wanted to say thank you. And so we just figured out a way that we could do that and to pamper them a little bit.
Mental health screenings were also offered at today's event. Well, soon the clock will start on former President Donald Trump's Senate impeachment trial. Now, last week, the House cast a bipartisan vote to impeach the former president for a second time, charging him with incitement of insurrection in connection to the January 6th Capitol assault. 5 people died as a result of the riot, including 1 Capitol police officer. Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she will send the article of impeachment against former President Donald Trump to the Senate on Monday evening. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate trial won't start until the week of February 8th.
Healing and unity will only come if there is truth and accountability, and that is what this trial will provide.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell had pushed for a delay.
The sequel cannot be an insufficient Senate process that denies former President Trump his due process or damages the Senate or the presidency.
This week, Mr. Trump's GOP Senate allies announced he has hired South Carolina lawyer Butch Bowers to anchor his defense.
Several Republicans in the Senate have already come out against an impeachment trial for former President Trump, arguing it may be unconstitutional.
A post-presidential impeachment's never occurred in the history of the country for a reason, that it's unconstitutional.
There's nothing in the text of the Constitution that prohibits an impeachment trial under these circumstances.
Georgetown University law professor David Super is among legal scholars who argue Congress does have the authority to impeach and convict a former president.
If he is convicted on impeachment by 2/3 vote of the Senate then can vote again to impose a lifetime disqualification.
For a conviction, at least 17 Senate Republicans would have to join the chamber's 50 Democrats. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Senate Majority Leader Schumer says during the 2-week break between the transmission of the article of impeachment and the beginning of the trial, the Senate will continue consideration of Biden administration cabinet nominees and COVID relief proposals. And we take this time now to honor one of our many 4-state heroes, Corporal Floyd Prock. Prock served in the Army from 1942 to 47 and spent time in Africa and Italy. He also served as a radio man and top turret gunner on a B-24 Liberator bomber. His hometown, Joplin. And we are proud to salute Corporal Floyd Prock, tonight's 4-state hero. Now, to learn more about other heroes or to submit one of your own, all you need to do is go to our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. And that is a look at today's top stories and a first check of your forecast. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 6, we'll take a look back at some of this week's top medical stories. A new study looks at parenting behaviors during the pandemic and a dangerous complication of type 2 diabetes for women. Michael George has a look at some of the week's top health stories.
New analysis from Brigham and Women's Hospital and the Mayo Clinic finds women younger than 55 with type 2 diabetes are 10 times more likely to develop coronary heart disease. Researchers say after following 28,000 women for decades, the trend is that younger and younger women will have heart attacks. A new study in the journal Health Systems finds British college students who went home for the holidays may have led to more than 9,000 new infections of COVID-19 across the UK. On average, researchers estimate an infected student passed the illness on to just one other household member. And a study on the impact of the pandemic on child development finds allowing kids to make more of their own decisions contributes to positive well-being. Researchers in Germany found that autonomy-supportive parenting was also linked to better outcomes for the parents. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The coronavirus variant first identified in Britain may be more deadly than the older virus strain. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson warned on Friday. Johnson said that in addition to spreading more quickly, it also now appears that there's some evidence that the new variant, which was first identified in London and the southeast, may be associated with a higher degree of mortality. Now, the variant of COVID-19 was first discovered in the UK, is up to 30% more deadly than the original strain. The government's chief scientific advisor, Patrick Wallace, revealed that at a press conference alongside Johnson, Wallace told reporters that it transmits up to 70% more easily than the first variant. Well, do you like candy? You guys like candy? They say they like candy. Good. Well, if you do, you're going to want to stick around for a particularly sweet story. It's a little bit later in our show. Do you like the weather? I'm not a fan of it, but some people like it. So if so, don't go anywhere. Meteorologist Nick Kelly is up next with the complete forecast.
We definitely had a cloudy day and certainly kept temperatures cool as a result of that, and almost in line with what we saw yesterday. Highs in the mid-40s. Started out flat out cold, though, in the mid-20s this morning. At least we did rebound somewhat, only lower 40s around Joplin Regional this afternoon. But all the clouds that we've been seeing build throughout the day is a sign of our next storm system on the way. That'll bring in periods of light rain and some drizzle off and on. Not only picking up tonight, but throughout the day on Sunday. Then I'm seeing rain chances here and snow chances immediately to the north with that next storm system kicking into gear on Monday. A break on Tuesday, then sticking with Doug's pattern, another quick system right on its heels. Could bring rain and snow chances back in here by Wednesday. So a bit active over the next couple of days. But at least in the meantime, even though we are cloudy up top, we are keeping things pretty calm as the evening gets started. 41 in Joplin, feels like 35, though, with the southeast breeze at 10 miles per hour. We are in the upper 30s northeast of Joplin. Everywhere else, we're sitting in the lower to mid-40s. So some of you in northeast Oklahoma did get into the mid-40s this afternoon and to start the evening out. But it's going to be just a very slow drop-off for the rest of the evening. Through the lower 40s, rather, then back into the upper 30s around midnight. And we'll hold steady there as we see the cloud cover that continues to build eventually give way to some areas of drizzle throughout the overnight. The radar may suggest a little bit of rain sticking through our northeastern counties, but we're still dry at the surface. But air is plenty saturated with resulting in snow across parts of the upper Midwest and parts of South Dakota and Nebraska. At the surface, we have our next system working in from the west, coming out of Colorado and the Rockies, while at the upstairs level, the jet stream level, vigorous upper low, still poised to make things a bit interesting as we wrap up this weekend and head into early next week. So we're dry to start the evening out. No big weather worries here, but temperatures holding steady near 40. Then we'll drop back into the upper 30s as more moisture saturates the lower levels of the atmosphere, and we can get some areas of drizzle and even some periods of light rain to pick up through the overnight and just continue off and on throughout the course of the day. Despite that, I do think eventually a south wind to start the day before it turns more easterly. It tries to warm us back up into the 50s, but I'm only seeing 42 in the morning, 49 by noon. Afternoon highs right around 53 degrees. Continuing on through Sunday evening, we'll see the rain pick up while areas or folks wanting to get up to Arrowhead for the Chiefs and the Bills game. You're going to be much colder than the rest of us. You'll be in the 30s from kickoff all the way to the final snap. And as the moisture picks up with temperatures that cold, you could have rain and snow to wrap up the game with. While here, Sunday night and Monday morning, some bouts of moderate to heavy rain, even some thunderstorms possible, while northern Kansas, northern Missouri, they will definitely see more in the way of snow as we continue on into our Monday. Let's just get right ahead to the 7-day forecast, though, because 45 to start Monday, 53 and dropping. Even with temperatures dropping throughout the day, this first big system on the way leaves us with primarily rain chances on Monday. Quiet Tuesday, cold to start, but then topping out around 44. Then our next system on Wednesday, rain and snow chances with temperatures only topping out in the mid-30s. Quiet on Thursday and Friday before we see another shot of rain as we head towards Saturday, Chris.
I, again, am not necessarily liking the forecast, but I am reminding myself each day now is bringing us closer to spring. We're on that downhill run. And I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get to spring, though, it'll be nice to see if we can get a good bout of snow. So we'll just keep an eye on Monday's system and probably Wednesday. For us, Wednesday might have the better shot of rain and snow, especially during the morning hours. But nonetheless, we'll keep it.
No, we do deserve some snow, Nick. So I'm looking forward to at least one good snow.
Yeah, nonetheless, though, Chris, we'll keep an eye on everything like we always do as we head into the week ahead of us.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, the Pitt State men use a hot start to get by Fort Hays State. Plus, the Missouri Southern women aim to knock off the 4th-ranked team in the country. Sports Director Jacob Leonard has highlights next.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are at home this afternoon for a doubleheader against Fort Hays State. On the women's side, the Gorillas aim to rebound after snapping a 7-game winning streak on Thursday against UNK. Now, Fort Hays State has the highest scoring offense in the league, coming into the day posting 75 per game. Early on, Sydney Crane from the top of the key, then Maya Williams. Williams had 15 in this one. Problem is, though, Hayes didn't really miss in the first. Tigers go 13 for 18 in the first quarter to lead by 11. Second quarter, Tristan Gegg, she had 10 in the first half. PSU scores 41 as a team, but they're still down 9. In the third, Jaden Hobbs, she was really good. 26 points, 12 assists for the Tigers. They're up 15 going to the fourth. Tristan Gegg doing what she does in the fourth. She leads PSU with 17. And the freshman, Abby Dietschy for 3. The Gorillas got within 8 in the fourth, but Hayes hangs on to win this one 85-73.
What a game by Fort Hayes. That was just honestly a really impressive offensive game by them. And I will say that our defensive presence the first quarter was not what I wanted it to be. However, some of that is we turned it over that first quarter a lot. You know, our efficiency the first quarter, we shot 61%, we're 8 for 13. So it's just literally that we gave them some to just running and get out and shoot layups.
To the men's game now, Gorillas aim to snap a 3-game skid against the Tigers. They were on fire to begin this game. Bobby Arthur Williams all alone for the Jam. He scores 14 in this one. Then Quentin Hardrick off the dribble for 3. It's 12-0 at that point. Hardrick goes for a team-high 15. They're not done yet, though. Antonio Givens, really smooth on the block. Pitt State opens the game on a 22-4 run. And they didn't let up. Ike Moore connects from deep. PSU goes to half up 53-21. Gorillas cruise over Hayes today 79-68. The Missouri Southern Lions are also at home today hosting Nebraska Kearney. Now, the Lion men have hit a bit of a rough patch the last few weeks, dropping 4 of their last 5. Southern aims to get back on track this afternoon in their only meeting of the season with the Lopers. First quarter, Cam Martin turning through some traffic and scoring. Game high 20 for Martin. Lions open on a 9-0 run. Then Martin back to work this time, stepping out and hitting the 3. Lions up 15-4. Later in the quarter, pass goes to R.J. Smith. Going to get his own putback here. That puts Moso up 13. Another from Smith here. Takes the pass, puts it up from the deep 2. Makes it 26-13 Lions with 10 left in the half. Late in the first half, Martin dishes out to Avery Taggart. He knocks down the 3. Lions up 46-25 at half. No problems today. Southern rolls over UNK 85-57. To the women's game now. Southern looking to hand Kearney its first loss. First quarter, dish out to Megan Jackson. She drops in the 3. Southern on top by 1 early. And Maddie Stokes hits a short jumper here. She had 14. Lions up 3. Later in the first, quick triple here from the freshman. Beyonce Stocks from the right side. The lead is still 3. To the second quarter now, Carly Turnbull in the paint. Through traffic and the foul. Team high 18 for Turnbull. Lions up 1 at halftime. Moving to the second half now. Steal by Caitlin Honeycutt. She takes it coast to coast for the layup at the buzzer. But the Lions see their lead slip. Big fourth quarter keeps Kearney undefeated. They beat Southern 65-57.
This is, I think, is a good stepping stone to help us with a little bit of confidence that understand that we can play with anybody in our league, and now we got to take that to the practice floor next week and be ready to go next week when we go on the road.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Coming up tonight at 10, the latest on a fire in downtown Joplin, plus how one business is helping local frontline workers, and we'll have the latest updates on the coronavirus. Join us for those stories and more tonight at 10. Well, as we mentioned before, candy is dandy, and it's even sweeter when a company pays you to eat it. There's a place called Candy Funhouse, a Canadian company. It's seeking full and part-time candyologists to sample and review candy. And you know what? The good news is here, the paycheck's pretty good too. Job pays $30 an hour. It's open to those who are 18 and older in the U.S. or Canada without food allergies. Nick, quick check of that forecast.
All right, we're cloudy with rain chances sticking around for Sunday and Monday. Crisp highs both days through 53. We'll take a deeper look at the forecast again tonight at 10.
All right, Nick, thank you. And that's our time for now. We'll see you at 10. Good night.